Hi, everyone, and welcome to Screen Time with me, KerbRider. My new show where I talk to someone about their screen time favorites, whether it's films, TV, or games. This episode, I have with me Luke, my colleague and other co-host of the Cinematic Wasteland podcast, all the way from Scotland. How are you, Luke?
I'm all right, and colleague sounds so professional.
I
I'm
know, right?
like,
I know him from work. Yeah.
we're just work buddies, okay?
It's very, very early in the morning for Luke, so I appreciate you coming on and yeah, spending your very early Saturday morning. I would, yeah,
Anytime,
above and
anytime, man.
beyond, above and beyond. Yeah, so as I said, we're going here to talk about what four films, I guess, inspired you the most to fall in love with film, in the first
Mhm,
place, whether that's childhood or into your early teens, I suppose. Not many of us watch
mhm.
films in our 30s and go, that inspires me to watch movies. So yeah, early films that got you into films. Yeah, let's get it started. Did you
Mhm.
actually, before we do that,
Yep.
I'll get you to plug yourself. Plug yourself.
Okay.
What's your Want to talk about your podcast for sure? Because you've switched gears a little bit too, which kind of inspired me to switch
Yes.
these gears a little bit. So
Oh,
by the time this goes to air, probably hang on, when will it be? April? We might be talking in April, whereas we're recording in early February. What's your show about?
mhm. So it's the same show. It's still called Flicks and Chill, except, I usually would interview people. So like every episode there'll be somebody new. So now, because of that, as you know, booking people and getting new people, it's hard,
hmm
especially if you don't have many contacts. So I just decided to switch gears, and our buddy Shane Conto, was so nice to agree to co-host with me. And now so it's still called Flicks and Chill. You can call it a sequel, you can call it season two, as long as I don't really care what you call it, as long as you come and listen.
Yeah.
And
Fair.
we just it's still like discussion, it's still like we are chilling, we talk about a bunch of movies, but it's not one of those prep podcasts, because like as much as I enjoy them, it's never gonna be like, oh, you need to next week we are talking about this movie and this movie, so you need to watch
Mhm.
those movies because we're gonna be talking about
Mm.
them. No, it's more like, hey, this episode we'll talk about Oscars. Next episode we'll talk about top 10 movies from Japan, or
Mm.
favorite movies from Japan, or
Love that.
no, the next episode can be our favorite movies of Steven Spielberg, or it can be
Mm.
anything we want for a
Hey
quote
man,
unquote
I'm
big
stealing
topic.
some of those ideas.
Okay, no, these are
Well,
not
I mean,
even
I'm
my
stealing,
original ideas.
but I'm
So like,
stealing the
yeah,
original idea.
but yeah, so Flicks and so it's still Flicks and Chill. It is still everywhere podcasts are found. It's still every second Friday, and that's about
Yep.
except now it's with Shin Konto. And yeah, other than that, any movies lost on Letterboxd. That's really my only two places.
Okay. Yep. You don't really, yeah, you're not a social media
No, I'm an antisocial butterfly.
and probably the better person for it. I am going to judge. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, sounds exciting. I'm keen to start listening to you and Shane and obviously be a guest on there with you at some point in the
Of
future.
course.
But yeah, when I'm saying, I'm stealing your ideas, I mean this whole idea for this show is kind of like a letterboxed
Hmm.
shit anyway, so I'm stealing from them as well. So there's no original ideas. I'm just, as Hollywood and Quentin Tarantino will tell you, we just kind of steal from each other. Um,
Yes.
so to get into it then, what's the first film we want to talk about? What was the first thing you remember just
Hmm.
loving?
So this could be easily like 10 or 15 movies, to be honest, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
imagine everybody has the same like that.
It could also be a
So
10 or 15 hour show if it was. So.
exactly. No, so like the first one I had to be mentioned would probably be like something like Shawshank Redemption,
Oh,
because
wow.
I remember, yes, and
So,
because there's a story. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yep, yep. Oh, no, I was just going to ask how old you were when you first saw that. That's probably part of the story. But
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. I believe I was about 12, 11, so
Okay.
like very early. And that's why like it stuck with me. It's still like in my top four, like it's my I think top three movie of all
hmm
time.
Yep.
Even though, I've only seen it once, that one time, because it stuck with me, and then that made me realize, like basically it was on a we had it on like a videotape, like taped off TV
Hmm.
back in the day, you know.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yes, yes, when he would do that. And there was one of the movies I still haven't seen of the videotapes we had at home, right? So I was like, oh yeah, let me finally watch it. Let's see how good it is.
Mm,
And I remember like finishing it, and the beach scene happens, and it's like, it fills you with all the emotions.
mm,
And I remember being moved, like I wasn't crying, but I was like,
yeah.
damn, this movie made me feel something I've never felt before just watching movies.
As a
Because,
12-year-old, that's
yes,
pretty impressive. Like, it's a really great testament to the movie itself, isn't it? That it can do
hmm,
that to it any age, but especially a 12 year
yes,
old. Yeah.
yes. No, because yeah, before then, you would obviously like, or I would obviously watch. So I was born 1991. So like I'm a child that was brought up on like 90s, 80s. So like,
Hmm.
but mainly like action movies. So my big heroes, both figuratively and literally, were like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone,
Yeah.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Those were my dudes. Those were
Hmm.
just like, oh yeah, like Arnie is fucking awesome. Sylvester is awesome. Like Bruce is awesome. Like so I would be, watching a shit ton of action movies. I would be watching a lot of like movies like that, like fun movies. But when I decided, oh yeah, movies might be my thing, then I start to explore. And yeah, Shawshank Redemption just happened to be on the video we already had. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And yeah.
It's a great choice. Yeah, I was thinking of your age then, but you obviously watched it, I guess if you were 12 in the early thousands. And I'm thinking when it came out, I'm trying to think of when I first watched it. I was probably 18 or 19,
Hmm.
I'd imagine. And I remember it hitting me hard, and I've seen it, I don't know, at least a dozen times, I think.
I need to rewatch it because
Mm,
obviously it's been a while, but I
yeah,
still think it's
same.
gonna like it lives on my shelf. It is now a 4K on my shelf because
Yep.
I know I love that movie, and I cannot wait to rewatch it a bit. I don't think my girlfriend's actually, or sorry, wife now. I don't think she's seen it. So
What about your
yeah,
girlfriend? Has she seen
oh yeah, that's a different that's a different story.
it?
But
I'm
no,
just looking at my letterbox. So it's been nearly 3 years to the day we've recorded since I've seen it. And I think I might, because it has been on my mind lately, so I might correct that
mm,
tonight.
mm,
Yeah, it
yeah.
depends on else what other nostalgia you bring up for me. But
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption.
Do you want to go to number two
Yeah, yeah, sure,
or second
absolutely.
movie?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it.
So yeah, so I have several in my head. So I just want to like not understand. I need to double check like where I want to take it because there's
Hmm.
quite a few movies I grew up on. You know what? Yeah, I think this also shaped. Yeah, this definitely shaped me to be this person I am. And part of those action movies, which I saw really early, probably earlier than I should have, is First Blood. Not Rambo,
Oh,
First Blood,
yeah,
but just First Blood,
just
because
first
back
blood.
then it
Yep.
was.
Mm.
And because I had an uncle that he really liked this movie. So, of course, what do you do when you have 11, 12-year-old? You show them this movie. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it was in that kind of stage where maybe I was even younger, to be honest. And I remember thinking, damn, this movie is scary. This movie is kind of because like the sequence in the woods, like in the middle of the night, and he's just killing them off one by one.
Mm.
I'm like, oh shit, this
It's
is.
I actually watched it.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure I'd seen it as a kid, but I watched it for the first time probably since I was 8 or 9, just late
Hmm.
last year, and I
Hmm.
didn't realize how good it actually is.
That's the other thing. Like I unlike Shawshank Redemption, I've actually watched this one few times now,
Mm.
and I've talked to our buddy Shane about it on one of his shows,
Oh yeah.
and like I've made the same point. I'm like, so there is a stereotype about Rambo, or like now it's like Rambo 2, Rambo 3, 4, or whatever, right? And there is a stereotype that comes with these movies, like yes, muscly guy Sylvester
Yeah, yeah.
just goes in and kills everybody,
Hmm.
and and walks out.
Yep.
But this is those are the sequels. The first one is this very open Vietnam War critique, especially, but not
Yes.
about the war itself. It's more how Americans treated the veterans after.
Hmm.
And I think the end where Sylvester has that breakdown is still phenomenal. I still think, like, Sylvester Stallone, I think he is better actor, or used to be at least, than people gave him credit for because of his big muscles. So,
Yeah.
and that ending, like, is powerful. And yeah, like, again, I've always wanted to have that big fucking knife Rambo has. Like, that seemed like such a
Yeah.
cool knife.
Yeah. I
Like,
remember. I remember
yeah,
liking that as a kid too. For no reason
but
really. But it's cool.
yeah, exactly. No, so to me, it's again, you can make fun of Rambo, and definitely the franchise became a bit of a thing to have fun of
Mm.
after. But the first one, if you haven't seen it in a long, long time, and you only all you have associated with Rambo is, oh yeah, Sylvester has big muscles and he kills 200 people. Not really, not in this one. Like,
It
yeah,
doesn't.
in the sequels.
It's definitely not the stereotype of those 80s action blockbusters, is it? Like from those actors you mentioned, Arnie and
hmm
Slice
hmm
specifically. It's a bit more serious and political, as you said. That's
hmm
what kind of makes it. And just on your point about Stallone being a better actor than he's given credit for, I agree. Like even in Rocky, he's fantastic in Rocky,
hmm
and he's
I
proved that he.
remember reading like some sort of interview with somebody, with some sort of screenwriter, and they said many people don't realize how great of a screenwriter Stallone is
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like Rocky and like few other movies where there was a point where apparently he not had to, but he had a choice. Do you want to be more of an actor or do you want to be more of a screenwriter? After obviously
Mm,
Rocky wasn't either nominated or won all most of the Oscars that year, right? The
yeah.
original. And so he was like, okay, I think I'll give this, the acting bit a bit more of a shot than the writing bit. But he
Mm.
still is writer, like, and I think he does it very well. So, you know, it's,
He's he's got a
he's not
couple
just
of
a punching bag.
no. He. I mean, he chose the career he chose, same as
Yes.
Arnie, and same as well, Bruce.
Yes.
Bruce actually mixed it up quite a lot, but I mean, they
hmm
have those reputations, even though yeah, they're obviously very smart guys. Because you're not that. No one that successful is that dumb, and well, except for the president maybe, but on,
Which president?
well, not our president,
I
that's for
wonder.
sure. Yeah, yeah, it narrows it down, doesn't it? Um,
hmm
but yeah, I think we're on the same page. Yeah,
hmm
Sly deserves a lot more credit, but he does have a really bad movie with Saturday Night Fever. Yeah, Saturday Night Fever. What? Saturday Night Live, wasn't it? What the hell was his movie? I always screw that
So it
title
was
up.
a sequel to
Yeah, it was
it
sequel
was a
to Saturday
sequel,
Night
Staying
Fever.
Alive.
Staying
Staying
Alive.
Alive.
Yeah, he wrote that. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, which is a bit of
And
a
I think he
turd.
even directed it,
Yeah, he did
didn't he?
direct it. Yeah, he definitely directed it.
And it's
Uh,
definitely of its time.
mm.
It's like Staying Alive is what I thought Saturday Night Fever will be. Because
Saturday Night
like when
Fever
you
is
put on
amazing.
because yeah, when he put it on, like I only watched that movie once, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a
Mm.
silly 80s movie about dancing. John Travolta, haha. And it's like, oh wait,
It's
there's a rape? What the
it's
fuck?
dark.
Huh?
It's very
Yeah,
dark, isn't it? Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? This is quite dark. So like I wasn't prepared for that. And then like randomly I noticed Staying Alive streaming on one of the streaming services I subscribed to like a few years ago. I was like,
Ah, yeah.
oh, that's a sequel. Let's go. And that sequel is more like it's like Rambo. It's exactly like Rambo. The sequel is what do you think of and we make fun of.
Yeah,
And Staying Alive is like, oh, he is very serious about his dancing.
yeah.
Cool. Oh, he is still serious about his dancing and he's sweaty as fuck. Okay, cool.
We should actually talk about First Blood Part 2 though, because that was actually
Mm.
co-written by James Cameron as well, and that's pretty good as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like from what I remember, I haven't rewatched these sequels in ages. But from what I remember, I really like the first sequel, this yeah, part two, because
Yeah.
he goes back to Vietnam, I think.
Yeah, he goes back and there's just a lot it's you can tell if you didn't know it was written by Cameron, you could tell by the action in it because it's very James
Yeah,
Cameron action, like helicopters getting blown
yeah.
up and yeah, it's that type of
hmm
shit. Um But yeah, it's because I watched that and yeah, the second one pretty close together last year, and I just, despite my memory, are hanging in there a little bit. But I just remember them being quite good. I haven't gotten to the third one yet. Um,
I think the
but I
third
think
one,
that's where it falls
especially
off.
now, yeah,
Mm.
well, I think especially now, look, because the movie is dedicated to the brave Afghani soldiers that,
Mm.
or that like a resistance group that kind of became Al Qaeda. So it's like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The
that did
Taliban,
not.
or
I don't think it was Taliban, but it was basically because it takes part of Afghanistan.
yeah,
But so like, yeah, I think that like that group that got dedication like kind of became Al Qaeda, and I'm
they
like,
do get they
uh-oh.
do change. I mean, the groups do change
Yes,
because they're
yes.
mercenaries fundamentally. It's like whoever's
Mhm.
paying them. Yeah. So yeah. Um,
And one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. That's,
Correct. Well, Star Wars is a great lesson. If you tell that story from a
mhm.
different side, it's a different movie. Yeah,
That, yeah, yep, yep, yep.
absolutely. Um, yeah. We could get into politics because why not? I'm kind of in the mood, but we better go on with movie number three.
So my third one, this can go again one of many ways. I think I would like to talk about. You know what? Yeah, let's keep it on the theme. So again, a movie that's still in my top two right now, and I watched way too young because
Yeah.
like I'm like, what the fuck happened? I was like, what? I don't know, understand anything about this movie, but I understood even at the time, and I saw something insane, but also awesome. And that movie is Mulholland Drive.
Oh, yes.
So I
I
was
was sitting here
slightly
thinking, what's he saying?
older.
What's he going to say?
I was slightly older, so I think this
Mm.
one I watched when I was like 14, 15,
Ah,
something around that time.
peak Naomi Watts, peak puberty. I can understand it.
Yep, yep, yep. But see, the thing is, I didn't even know about the lesbian scene. I didn't even know about anything. I was like, oh,
No,
this
no,
is a thing.
but you didn't forget
Yeah,
it though,
yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, that's another thing. Uh, so I watched it because like when I started my cinematic journey, I think as anybody, like with access to the internet, you go through like IMDb top 20 or 250, sorry, not top 20. What am I talking about? Like you go through all these like different lists, like because you want to
Mm,
see the best of the best. And I've
yeah.
seen like Mulholland Drive on quite a few lists. So I was like, okay,
Hmm.
let's see what this is about. And yeah, that is correctly the movie that made me fall in love with Naomi Watts because she is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how she wasn't nominated for an Oscar for that year. That's insane.
It is insane.
And more importantly, like like made me appreciate David Lynch, obviously. But more importantly, like as I said, like that movie ends first time ever. I'm like 14, 15. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I
I
know,
don't
yeah.
understand anything.
Yeah.
But I understand that I love it. And I don't
Mm.
understand why I love it because like it doesn't make sense. At least it didn't make sense to me at the time. So there was one of so the reason I'm bringing it up is there was one of the first movies I kind of had the realization that you don't have to necessarily understand movie to appreciate it if it clicks on you, with you on a different level. And
Mm.
that's a movie I've rewatched just in the last 3 years, three times. Which the
Wow.
latest one, I don't know if I mentioned it to you. The latest one being there was a David Lynch celebration happening here in a cinemas, and
Hmm.
this was one of the three movies they re-released in a beautiful 4K restoration. So I actually
Yeah.
grabbed a ticket and I went to see it like 2, 3 weeks ago now on Friday. And that movie in a cinema, just you notice so many different little scenes,
Okay.
and it's like I mentioned that to Shane. Like I think one of the reasons I also love it, David Lynch blends the new approach to cinema with the old approach. Like meaning there's like shots where like they're opening the purse and there's a zoom just to the purse for like 3 seconds. Something you
Yeah.
would never see today. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this to me is like a scene from 1940s.
It's like
From like
Hitchcockian almost that.
yeah, yeah. And I like because the first half is like this mystery, like woman who loses her memory,
Hmm.
and like they are trying to like like be detectives about it and see who she is, but but he knows something insane is kind of happening, and then the movie switches on you totally, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, the fuck? Okay, something happened. I don't understand. And now I think I kind of understand. But damn, that movie is just so it's loaded with so many things. Again, Naomi was like Laura Herring is great. David Lynch, oh, I miss him already, and only been a year since he's gone, but like I miss him already.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a movie.
David Lynch's approach to storytelling is it's admirable, but it's also really frustrating
Hmm.
um because he does direct he's in this dreamlike state all the time, like he's very quotable kind of gentleman. So the more of his quotes I have come to learn, it's like the more I kind of understand his films and his ethos, I suppose, that nothing like life is bizarre, so why shouldn't films be?
Hmm.
Which I think is a really cool approach to making stories. Um, and I think all of his are like that. And just on that subject, I know it's actually a silly question, so I won't even ask it
Hmm.
because I know Mulholland Drive's your favorite David Lynch. It's your favorite film ever, right?
Yes.
So yeah.
Second,
So
second, yes, but yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
what's your second favorite then of Lynch's?
I need to rewatch quite a few, but like right
Mm,
now it would be Blue Velvet because that's the one I
okay.
rewatched last year, and it it's one of the more accessible ones, even though the beauty
Mm,
about David Lynch, he is one of the directors that heavily relies on you, like, as a viewer, to
yes.
be engaged
Yep.
and to be, hey, we're not watching it with a phone in your hand.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah, yeah.
watching it on a second screen whilst you're doing a work or something.
Hmm.
You are in the movie. And
Yep.
so blue with like and that's what I like appreciate or grown to appreciate about Lynch in general. Like his movies might be insane. His movies
Yep.
might be a bit out there and dreamlike, but it's never for sake of like oh, this is just for shits and giggles, guys. Okay, I'm just a quirky guy. Okay, listen, I'm just a quirky. I'm so quirky. Can you not see how quirky I am? No, there's always a point behind it, but sometimes like Mulholland Drive, you
Mm.
need to rewatch it like 5 times before you kind of get to the point and read
Yeah.
these like theses about the movie. And
That
you know.
So that's I love films like that, and I've only seen
Mhm,
Mulholland Drive the once. But
mhm,
that's why 12 Monkeys is my favorite film, I think, because I had to watch it five or so times. I actually
mhm,
remember it was the very fifth time that I kind of figured out the timeline and the whole
mhm,
circularity of it all, and I was like, oh, this movie, I get it. So I mean, I always liked it, but I just
mhm,
fell in love with it
mhm.
once I got it. And Mulholland Drive is that type of film, and I think David Lynch, just as we were talking there, like Lynch was more of someone who wanted you to experience his films rather than watch them. Because he does
Yes,
have that comment I've seen, like I saw it like yesterday on Instagram, him yelling at someone about, if you think you've seen a movie when you've watched it on your phone, fuck you, or something he's really, so because he was a very acerbic kind of old guy. He was just,
yes.
and the way he spoke was just amazing. But yeah,
And I know
that,
like this shouldn't not shouldn't like I'm not trying to win some brownie points here, but if all his people who work with him, especially women, like have nothing bad to say about him
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
praise him, and
Mm,
women in his movies go through
mm,
some fucking fucked up shit.
yeah, yeah.
But like, so you think, oh, this is a weird dude, he might be bit out there, like, who knows what happens on set with him. They have nothing but love and admiration for David Lynch, no matter if you're
Yeah.
Naomi Watts, no matter if you're Isabella Rossellini,
Hmm.
all of it, like Laura Dern, all of these quote unquote regulars, and all of,
Yeah.
they, when he passed away, like they honored him. They're
Hmm.
like, oh, we lost a great one. We lost, like,
Hmm.
I lost a dear friend. Like, everybody was like, oh, I lost a dear friend. And nobody was like, oh, yeah, he touched me inappropriately once. No, that wasn't David Lynch. David Lynch was like, yeah, I'm just a weird dude. I have these like dreams, right? And I
Yeah.
like to explore them in a cinematic form. And this is something that I so admire.
I think he's the kind of an epitome, like a great definition of what an auteur is. Like one of those French New Wave type of guys as well. Like, and I haven't seen enough. I mean, I've seen most of Lynch's films, but I haven't seen them
Hmm.
enough, like multiple times. I think the
Hmm.
movie of his I've seen the most is Lost Highway, and I watched that repetitively when on VHS back in the day because I just couldn't understand what the fuck was going on. And I like I said with 12, I like movies that make me think. But if I can't get
Mhm.
them in the end, I'm like, I don't know what I'm watching then. And I kind of, if I can't get it, it's hard to re-engage. I'm not sure what you think
That's the
of.
one I need to rewatch. Like I watched it
Mm,
only once, but that's like so last year when I was talking David Lynch movies with Shane, I was thinking between rewatching Blue Velvet and or Lost Highway, and I immediately settled on Blue Velvet. So I was like, but it was
yeah.
so close. It was so close. So I
So
need to rewatch that.
a few of you only watched Blue Velvet for the first time in the middle half of last year as well. Really
Yeah.
liked it, liked it a lot,
hmm
but I was still kind of left scratching my head at the end. And I think that I do that with every Lynch film pretty much, except for June, which June I
Yeah.
liked. His version of June I liked way better than I was expecting to.
Same. Like his version of June, because I heard so many bad things about that movie. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a bit of shit, but
Mm,
let's watch it.
yeah,
And then it's like, damn, this is like the CG,
it's
obviously the
fun.
effect, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
effects
yeah,
obviously don't age well because it was 84. Okay,
yeah.
cool. And I
But
think the
even for
biggest problem with
84,
the
they're bad though. Even
yeah, yes,
though,
yes,
yeah, they are bad. When you see
but
films like Ghostbusters come out around that time, like, yeah.
yes. Like he was trying something, and I think the
Mm,
only big problem is, suddenly instead of seeing the action and excitement, suddenly we have a voiceover saying, and in the next what was it, like 2, 3 years, we bottled so many wars, and I was like, oh, we have a montage now. And
mm.
then, like, if when you read IMDb trivia, that movie, it was like, oh yeah, he originally wanted to make like a 5-hour movie, but back then, A, nobody would allow it, and B, studios were not thinking, hey, we can make part one and part two,
Yeah,
double
yeah,
the money,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
So it was like,
Nah,
you fucking crazy? 5-hour movie? No, no, no. So like, like I cannot really blame it on him because that wasn't his vision.
yeah.
So he was quite clear what he wanted to do because he knew how unfilmable this book was. Sorry.
Mm, mm.
So I think, with the shackles he had on him at the time, and he did his best. And I
Yeah,
had kind of fun with that movie. I'm not saying it's a great movie, but I kind of had fun
but
with
it,
it. Like young Kyle MacLachlan, like, is
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
funny.
yeah. It is funny. I know, I agree. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it too, and just kind of bring up the point, like with his bad experience in post and the bad effects in post, he was probably looking at it in the edit and was like, "Who gives a shit? This isn't the film I want anyway. So fuck it. Like put in those 1960s television
Yeah.
explosions. It doesn't matter." Yeah, can imagine
Speaking of
just being.
him, I'll
Mm.
just put this out there and we can move on. But, I always messes with my mind that he was quite close to direct Star Wars Episode
Yes,
6, The Return of
yes.
Jedi. Because he was, very much in the running because he only made
Mm.
Eraserhead and Elephant Man. Elephant Man was a huge success, box office wise, and obviously, like, got him some Oscar love as well, or nominations at least. So he actually was in a series running, and I think he turned it down. Like he was actually offered the movie, but he didn't know what to do with Star Wars, so he turned it down. And part
Mm.
of me is happy because I
Yes,
like what we've gotten, but
yes.
part of me really wants to see David Lynch's take
I
on Star
can't,
Wars.
I can't imagine it, man. It would have been a very different end to the. Jedi is actually my favorite Star Wars. I know people think it's like the word. I love Jedi. It's the first one I ever watched as a kid, and so much about
Nice.
it. I mean, the Ewoks alone, and I love the
Yeah.
Ewoks. You know,
Me
come at
too.
me if you
Me
want.
too.
Yeah, the Ewoks are great. And that whole speeder chase because I was always into cars and racing, and I obviously still am, but hence the KerbRider name. But that forest chase scene on those speeder bikes, that blew me away as a kid, man. Like that, you're making me want to watch Return of the Jedi now. It's moving up to the top. Sorry, Shawshank.
And Princess, the obviously the infamous or famous bikini Princess Leia, like,
Oh
Carrie
yeah,
Fisher.
the opening of
I'm
Jedi,
like,
that first half hour of Jedi is peak. It's peak Star Wars.
hmm
It's what Star Wars is all about to me. Yeah.
yes.
Anyway,
No, yeah.
not a Star Wars podcast.
No, no, no.
Movie number four.
So you know what? Let's keep it on the team because like this definitely was in the running before I mentioned this. It's not
Mm.
the Return of the Jedi, it's the Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
And there is a reason for that. Again, there's a with me, I'm a yapper, you know me. So like there's also a story. So like I was kind of prejudiced against the Star Wars Because to
Mm.
me, so I'll tell you what,
Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
my 13-year old ass, because again, that was the prime age for me to watch these movies. For some
Hmm.
reason, I thought that name, Star Wars, is dumb as a title. I'm like, Wars, but like up in the stars? What, like, the fuck?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
supposed to be like cool? I don't know. Like, I didn't know what to make of it. I remember like my teenage ass had a very big problem with that title. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And back then, when I watched the first three, there was only three.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
still haven't gotten a prequel. Wait, no. Wait, 12, they would have, no. 12, 13, no. They would have been.
Yeah, the
So
pre
maybe I was
this.
even, yeah, like the prequels, like, like all that. But, oh yeah, but the first time I watched it, it was just on the cusp before, so it might have been even, like, Anyway, so I remember loving the first one, obviously, like now, New
Mm,
Hope.
mm,
But like I remember, I was like, damn, this was much better than I thought.
mm.
So because of I watched it so young, I was one of the few people, I think ever now, that didn't know about the big twist that was
Ah,
coming in
nice. That's
Empire Strikes
excellent.
Back. So yeah, so I watch it. I still have the memory of watching that on like Saturday evening. It was like the prime time movie happening and on TV,
Mm,
and I was like enjoying it. I was like, oh yeah, the snowy sequence was kind of cool. I don't like snow, so I
mm.
was like, oh, it wasn't that cool. But everything else after, oh, awesome, 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 awesome. And then it comes the twist. No, I'm your father. I'm like, what the actual fuck?
No.
Oh! I was so and I was so hyped and I was so ready. Like I remember like, oh, I need to tell about this movie to like to my granddad because like this is such a great movie. I was like, oh, this is so fucking fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so this definitely like, influenced me in a way where like this is where like I'm to this day. Yes, Disney's made some questionable choices and movies and TV
Mm,
shows from Star Wars universe, absolutely.
mhm.
But I'm still much more lenient on Star Wars movies than your average Joe because I
Yeah,
absolutely adore Star Wars. And if I had like gun to my head, probably like I'm boring. Empire is my number one, probably.
yeah.
Like it's between that or then original, like A New Hope, but it's close. And
Mm,
but I'm on your page. I've never understood the hate for Ewoks. I never understood the hate for Return of the
no.
Jedi. Like I hear what some people are saying, like especially about Ewoks. Oh, this is just how to sell toys. Well, duh. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
that's what that's
they're
that's what
also
like
kids'
10,000 movies also
movies.
does.
But they're also
Yes.
kids' movies too, right? I mean, they are
Mm-hmm.
directed at younger kids, and that's why Jar Jar, those kids who love those movies grew up and saw Jar Jar Binks and forgot those movies were for kids. Jar Jar Binks is for the kids. Like it's no different
Mm-hmm.
than seeing those side characters in the Disney animated films, right? The comic
Mm-hmm.
relief characters like Zazu or that little thing
Mm-hmm.
from fucking Lilo and Stitch. It's that same type of thing, and people just can't get past those little grievances. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
bothers me. They don't realize the reasons they hate Star Wars are the reasons that they fell in love with them in the first place. I think a lot of Star
Mm-hmm.
Wars fans. Yeah.
Yes. No, but yeah, so like Empire would probably be the number four. But again, if you ask me tomorrow, these could be totally different four movies. It could be like, I was
Mm,
thinking like, I'll bring up like the origin, not original, the 99 Mummy and all those movies because like
yeah,
that's a movie I've rewatched multiple times.
yeah. See,
And
now you've put that on my
that,
radar too.
see, and then that and the sequel, Mummy Returns, bona
Mm,
fide certified classics. Like
yeah.
those two. Mummy Returns is so good, I didn't even care about the child actor because, like, many people find that child annoying. I'm like, no, he's endearing, he's precious, he needs to be protected with all, at all cost. He is awesome. So, like,
I'm not sure when I last. I haven't watched Mummy Returns probably since it came out. Then, by the looks of it,
hmm
so it's not because I don't have it logged on Letterboxd. So yeah,
ah,
interesting.
and
Um,
Rachel Weisz in those movies,
yeah, I
oh,
know.
like
The
Rachel Weisz
other,
still looks great, but
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
especially in those movies.
absolutely. Patricia Velasquez was, or Velasquez.
Oh,
She was like
but
she played a Nook on a Moon.
and
Um,
Cinnamon, yes.
yeah, yeah,
Oof.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
That scene when she walks out with just the body painting, I'm like,
Mm,
ooh,
yeah.
I like women. It's like
Yes,
the
absolutely.
Ralph from
Yeah.
Simpsons, like when he sees someone naked Bart. I like men now.
I bent my Wookiee. Everyone on the Star Wars train. I was going to say
Yes,
it was a sexual awakening for me too when the first Mummy came out. But what year was the first Mummy? Yeah, no, I was like in
99.
my I
Yes.
was in my early 20s by then, so I was already awakened. Yeah, fucking hell, interesting. Yeah, well, you'll definitely be back on the show to talk about other movies for sure. I'm actually logging what everyone's talking about on here as well. There's
Mm-hmm.
been no crossover so far. It's only the second episode. But mate, should we wrap it up there? Is there anything else you wanted to talk about on the fringes? Any of that?
Oh, I no, yeah, just yeah. You know what? Mentioning the mummies feels right because like that's a movie
Mm,
I've rewatched. There's only a couple of movies, like Star
mm,
Wars being one of them, that my sister and I, because I have a sister that's 1 year younger, or almost a year younger. So there
yeah.
was only a couple of movies we agreed on together and we could watch together. And Star Wars was one of them, Harry Potter series was one of them,
Mm,
and Mummy and Mummy Returns we both absolutely love. So like that's like that's why those two movies are very precious to me because that's literally
yeah.
my childhood. And yeah, that it just feels right to also at least mention the Mummy.
It might be worth doing a part two of these because in no Star Wars comes on my radar as it's a
Hmm.
movie that made me fall in love with movies, even though Jedi probably did. But yeah, so probably worth doing a part two. Anyway,
Sure.
we'll wrap it up. Thanks for being on the show, man, and we'll definitely get you back at some point on another topic. Because
Hmm.
I am going to rotate as many of you as I can. So, well, a good half dozen. So. I don't have to rush you
Hmm.
too many times a year. But yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. I'm still getting used to the name, but Screen Time with KerbRider is a member of the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network, where you can also catch many, many podcasts. Shane Conto says this way better than me, so I'm not going to even try, but Luke has his own podcast on here, and me, Luke, and Shane have one together as well. So check out the network wherever you get your podcasts, and if you want to be on the show, jump on the SPD and Crew Instagram page and send Mike a DM, and he can help you either be on a show or create your own if you want. So until next time, thank you for listening, and tell your friends.